I'm going to show you how to connect anesthesiacharting.com to a vitals monitor running on your local network. In order to do that, we first have to download and install a small Windows application. So if you go to our website, anesthesiacharting.com, there's a link on the homepage here that says read more about automatic vitals entry. You can click this and click the download button, and you'll see it start to download here, just like anything else. And when it's done, you can just click it, and that should run the installer. So if you see this pop up, just go ahead and click more info and say run anyway, and that will run the installer. Okay, when it's done, we'll get a window opening up, and I'm gonna go ahead and just sign in here to demonstrate it. I'll be right back. All right, so I've now signed in, and I've kind of gone through the initial steps here of the case to fill out some information. And then now when we're on the monitor setup step, this window will appear, this little box will appear that wasn't here before. And also, you can also reach the same menu from up here, basically. So even before you've filled out any patient information, you can always kind of hit here. If you just want to see if it can find a monitor, you can do that. And these are the same ones. So I'm going to do it here. Basically now it'll look for monitors on this network. And once it finds it, it will show me the data it got from it. So it really didn't get anything. That's because there's no data coming in over here. So I'm going to go ahead and actually put this in demo mode for us here real quick. And now that will simulate some data here. And now when I take another test reading here, we should see it come in and select the items here. So it marks these as automatically tracked based on what you have here. But we're not getting systolic diastolic. That's because this is still blank. So I'm going to simulate a blood pressure cuff, take another reading. Okay, so now it's automatically selected all of this stuff here. And you can choose to also manually track some other things if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and just say complete for now. And I'll fill this out, and then we'll jump ahead to the actual monitoring stuff here in just a second. Okay, so now as soon as I get to the initial vitals page, now that I've completed these other steps, it immediately tries to take a reading here, and it pulls in a reading and added it here. So this is all data coming from the monitor, and so here's our starting values. And again, always you can you can edit whatever you want here if you want to. You can say, save, and or you can remove the override, or you can skip a checkpoint or make a note about a checkpoint. Now, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit more here, just kind of to get the case started. And then as soon as vitals are due, we'll show you how that works out. So one of the things I wanted to demonstrate here is the way that these Edan monitors work is that while the blood pressure cuff is inflating, if we ask it for vitals for that, it won't just give us the previous blood pressure reading. In fact, as soon as the blood pressure cuff starts to inflate, these reading values go blank like this. And so what happens is, if it happens to be right at a time when we have a checkpoint where we want data, the software might actually ask the monitor for data and not get anything. But we still want it to be as automatic as possible. Same scenario would occur if, for example, the O2 sensor fell off their finger. And we want it to make it so that you can just put it back on and the software will kind of pick up where you left off anyway. So that's the way it works. So if you remember over here, if you go to the monitors page, so based on what's considered automatic here, so whatever's in this automatically tracked section, and again, when you take test readings, that will select that as long as the case hasn't been started, it'll determine what those are. So you really want to hook up your patient to all the sensors that you're expecting to have them on and make sure that you're getting a reading for all of them, because that will denote that we're expecting those to be automatically tracked throughout the case. And at that point, if you get to a vitals checkpoint and you don't have that data, the way it'll work is it actually tries to take a reading 30 seconds before the checkpoint is due, and then we'll keep trying for up to 2 minutes after the checkpoint is due to fill in any missing information. So if it notices that any of the things that should be automatic don't have values, then it will try to backfill that and by keep trying, basically. And we should be able to simulate that here. So the monitor over here right now does not have a blood pressure. and the next checkpoint here is coming up very soon. You'll see it says 20 seconds there. So it's actually already tried to take a reading, and it actually has those values. So as soon as it switches to being due, we'll see values, but it will be incomplete, and you'll see how that works here in just 5 seconds. Okay. So now you'll see there's data for everything here except for these two because we don't have blood pressure. So we're still within, a couple minutes since the checkpoint was due. So if I go over here and push the button to simulate a blood pressure cuff, you'll see it's actually going to take another reading here in just a second. And that should resolve itself. And there it goes. So now it took another reading, is able to clear that checkpoint, and now that checkpoint is complete again. Now, if for some reason it wasn't, if you're legitimately missing data, you can skip the checkpoint, you can skip, you can make notes about the checkpoint, say the patient has to get up and use the restroom, you can skip it, and then you can say, yes, I'll skip them all, and then you can make a note saying, hey, patient had to use the restroom here, right? So point is, we're trying to build on a lot of flexibility and try to keep things really as automatic and smooth as possible for you. And yeah, I think that's it for the demo. If I let this keep going here, you would just see these every checkpoint. It would fill everything out as long as the patient's still hooked up and we're getting data. Should be good to go. All right, thanks for watching.